Welcome back to another video. So this is Heffron Park D grade last Saturday. There's 6 racing, so a bit better than last time, but still a small bunch. The other 2 that I raced with last time, Zach and Simon, are also racing here. And there's 2 other Randwick Bodney riders and an East rider. The one in black at the front, I think that was the East rider's dad. Not too sure, but it was yelling instructions to him to start the race. So it was super windy, and this back straight was a massive headwind, and of course that meant that the finishing straight was a big tailwind. So you can see Simon attack here, and Zach's trying to follow. I'm happy just to sit in his wheel though, because it's still early on in the race, and Simon doesn't get that big of a gap. So if we skip a little bit, this is still the same lap, and Simon's just a bit ahead. And the East rider attacks. So at first I didn't notice him go, because I was waiting for the bunch to pass. But then I see Zach come around, and then I know I probably have to follow. And the East rider's being a bit cheeky, he's sitting on the high grade. But yeah. And this corner, I actually almost hit the grass there. Because I usually go quite tight, but then with the wind coming from the right, it pushed me in a bit. Anyway, we're back together here, and you can see me and Zach are sort of just chilling, but the East rider's dad is screaming, like, do a turn, get to the front, like, do some work on the front. And I'm thinking, like, the East rider just attacked us. He wasn't really doing work at the front, and Simon wasn't that far ahead of us anyway, so I didn't really have to chase. So in the end, I just decided to bridge across and see if we can stay away. We ride a little bit together, but we get caught not long later. This bit here, we get squeezed a bit by C grade, and you can see some of them are doing a bit of cyclocross. They've gone off the road there. As we go around this bend, one of the Randwick riders attacks, and this was probably one of the strongest attacks along here, so I try to get onto his wheel. I look behind me, and I realize that there is a bit of a gap, so I tell the Randwick rider to work together, and hopefully we can stay away. But we get caught shortly after. So here the East rider attacks again, same place as where he attacked last time. He doesn't go so hard, and I can see the gap doesn't get much bigger, so I don't really react. I'm happy just to ride at my own pace, and I know that it will come back together. When we catch him, I decide to attack over the top of him. But when I get out of the saddle, his dad screams, don't attack him, do a turn, do a turn. So in the end, I don't attack him, just roll to the front. Going into the last lap, the East rider attacks again. But like his other attacks, he doesn't seem to ride hard after attacking, which you really have to do. Otherwise, it makes it easy to chase back on. So I just lift my effort a bit, and I'm already back on the wheel here. You can see it's starting to rain a bit, so that's the droplet of water on the lens. And I'm carrying too much speed, so I decide to go to the front. And I'm hoping that if I'm at the front now, it means someone will be able to pass me, maybe along the back straight, so that I won't have to be at the front for the sprint. I end up sitting in second wheel as we go up this little hill up the back, and the East rider tries to go ahead of me here. There you can see that it's coming up. But I notice he doesn't really hold the wheel, and the gap's sort of getting bigger and bigger. So I decide to bridge across, which was probably a good decision. It didn't look like it was going to be able to close the gap. So this is going into the final sprint. It's a little messy because there's 2 grades right in front of us. And it actually takes me a little bit of time just to get onto his wheel. But yeah, I managed to get on. He starts his sprint a little early, so you can see he starts the sprint now. And I'm thinking, I've got to go around the right hand side because there's a grade on the left, and the gap just opens there, so I've got enough room to fit through. And then I'm just sprinting here, and I managed to cross the line first. So I'm quite happy with the win. I'm not sure if Zach knew I was on his wheel during the sprint, because if he stayed right, I probably wouldn't have been able to pass him. But yeah, I hope you enjoyed watching this video, and I'll make another one soon. See ya!